All right, how are we doing for 7:43?
Yeah.
Mikey, you wanted to talk about another topic, and also, Mikey, what have you been playing this week? Last of Us. It's always The Last of Us.
So yes, it is. So I've been playing The Last of Us on a permadeath setting because I like torturing
Is that the
myself
one
with
where
difficult.
if you lose, you take a hammer to your monitor?
No, no, that's just rage quitting. So there are a couple of options with the permadeath. If you die, you go right back to the very beginning. So it's like classic arcade games in that respect. But you can do it per chapter, per something, or for the whole game. I'm like, I'm going to do per chapter because if I get like 40 hours in and I die because, I don't know, a child walks in and goes, Daddy, and I'm like, oh, I've got to pause the game. Yeah, if you quit the game whilst you're in a dangerous position, you also just die.
Yep.
That includes, I think, the console going off, but I'm not sure. But that is what I've been playing, and I was playing not Valheim this week. I've forgotten what it was called. It's a shooter. It's Splitgate.
Minecraft.
Splitgate.
That's what I said.
Splitgate, if you've not heard of it, is a first-person shooter. It's an arena shooter, and you can put portals around, and you can see through your portal. So you can put a portal all the way up there, a portal there, and you can snipe across the map. What I didn't realize, and what I was taught whilst I was playing, was when you're behind a portal, the other side that anybody can see glows, and when you're not there, it doesn't. So people know if you stood behind the portal. I'm like, how do you keep killing me? How do you know I'm there?
Yep.
Big brain. But yes, so one of the things that I did over the weekend was I played with my youngest. He's 8, and he was playing Roblox. Not my favorite of games or companies, but he enjoys it. We don't spend money on the Robux or whatever it's called. And he was playing this rhythm game. So if you've ever played DDR or Dance Dance Revolution, where the arrows come up on the screen and you put your feet in the right places, this was the same sort of mini game, but you were using the keyboard. And he said, Daddy, shall we play together? Yes. So we sat down, good father son gaming time. I was really enjoying it to begin with. So we start playing, and he introduces me to a beginner song. It was still quite quick, but I aced him. And I was like, I feel a bit bad. Next one was a bit more difficult, aced him again.
Didn't feel that bad.
Didn't feel that bad, no. But I realized on the third go something was up because he completely trounced me. And it was more and more difficult each time. And we played about 5 or 6 rounds of this, getting increasingly more and more difficult. And I was like, is he just like really? Because he started learning drumming and things like that. And I'm like, okay, rhythm wise, he might be really, really good. And he might be just doing those micro movements with his fingers, and being a small child, you can do things really quickly, quicker than us slow adults can. But then I realized what he was actually doing, and the reason why I beat him early on was because the slower songs I could be really accurate and precise with, and he couldn't. But when it got really quick, he was just mashing the keys. And the game is forgiving enough that it's got kind of got, if you're all precise, it says epic and then good and then bad, or okay and then
I
bad.
was going to say Epic and Valve and
And
Ubisoft.
so it occurred to me, and I was just like, oh, he's winning because of a mechanic in the game that allows you to mash the keys and it not recognize it as a failure. Now, I don't know at this point in time whether or not that was a scoring thing, because if you make a mistake, you do, and it's bad, sort of, or wrong, you actually get points taken off. But otherwise, you always gain points. So if it's fast enough, you can just mash. And then I tried it. I just mashed. And I didn't quite keep up with him, but I mashed and got a much higher score than I could have done previously. And I found that weird. I'm like, this is a rhythm game. The whole point of it is to be precise. Yet it allows you, by the way that it's coded, or perhaps just because of the Roblox engine, who knows, to enable that type of exploit.
Yeah, now I can see a couple of ways that you could code that would introduce that bug. I mean, the easiest one would just use an if else if and check if you've hit the right button first. And if you
Hmm.
have, just not do the rest of it. So if you're hitting the right button, don't worry if you're hitting the wrong button too, which is the
Yeah.
reverse of what you want. But then Mikey asked me an interesting question. He said, Was he cheating?
And
Now,
cheating,
my contention is no,
yeah,
because he didn't know he was cheating. Like, this is a young child.
it's intense,
This is a
isn't it?
technique that works, and then when you pointed it out to him, he stopped doing it.
Yes, he actually turned to me later on in the day and said, "Daddy, I'm trying it without mashing the keys," or words to
Yeah,
that effect. And I was like, "Oh, cool."
right. So I think cheating has to have an intent. Like, you have to want to break a rule.
But we've probably all done it. I remember this was years ago in Counter Strike, where you could, if you three of you got together, you could jump on everybody, jump on a crate, and then jump above the map,
Yep.
and you were beyond a viewpoint of anybody, but you could see through walls and stuff.
See, that's cheating.
Is it though? Because it's part of the game. Anybody can do it,
But
as
that
long as
wasn't
you
my
start at
argument,
this point.
Michael. That was not my argument. My argument was he didn't know he was breaking a rule. You knew you were breaking a rule.
Oh no, no, no! This is perfectly permissible.
I'm doing it, so it's fine.
Exactly. Do as I say, not as I do.
This is the literal word meaning of the word privilege. Private legislation, private law.
Yes.
It's fine when I do it. It's against the law when you do it.
You see that it's a weird it's a weird conundrum, because obviously exploiting something that anybody can exploit can be seen as cheating, and it obviously can undermine the spirit of the game. I think that's probably where it gets a bit iffy. I mean, if you're just having fun and one of you's running around on the ceiling, that's fun maybe the first
Right.
one or two times, but it gets,
I mean, a goofy glitch that everyone can laugh at is not the same as
yeah.
cheating. But I mean, I tend not to enjoy the competitive gamer scene anyway. Like, I just
Mm.
don't enjoy that kind of game. I certainly don't enjoy the sort of mentality that comes around from, well, I have to crush you. I just want to have fun with my friends. I don't really care who wins, which explains a lot of my gameplay. Actually, I say that. I tend to be a lot more focused on, no, this is the objective, Michael. You're like, look!
Look at what I'm doing. Whee!